guys, how's it going? Back for another tutorial. Anyways, this one is gonna be covering the problems some of you guys are having on the forums with importing static meshes and textures and where you're saving your maps and whatnot. Just kind of go through some things, clear things up. First things first, I know some of you guys have been getting errors saying you're using external packages even though you're not. Some of you are getting ambiguous packages, and there's reason for that. The ambiguous package means that you have a file saved in the same map with the same file name saved in a couple of different places within the AAPG structure in the folders. So that's why it's just letting you know, hey, this map is in more than one place. So we'll get that cleared up. The reason why I believe most of you are getting that is some of you are working out of the program file directory, and others are working, so when you work through that and you're saving the map, what's happening is it's automatically saving it into the document folder. Unreal Engine is usually basically works through the document folder, so just the structure of the engine. So originally when A came out with the editor, it was working out of the program folder, but I guess everything's been moved now. So if you open up your document folder, your AAPG, and you don't see any path to any maps, what you want to do is just open up the basic editor and create just any template map, and that'll automatically create all that structure for you, the path structure to the where your map should be saved. But the actual place where everything should be saved, regardless, no matter what, is to make sure you're saving everything into the, I'll go back to it, but it's the America's Army AAPG Unpublished CookedPC Maps Mission Saves, MissionEditor Saves, excuse me. And that's within your document folder. So it would be your document folder, and it should be AAGame, America's Army Proving Ground, AAPG, Unpublished. If you don't see this, that means you haven't created a map. Create a map and all this stuff will automatically appear for you. So, and then Unpublished, CookedPC, Maps, MissionEditor, Saved, and within this structure. So if all your maps are here, you'll be fine when you're working on them. You won't get any of that you're working out of external packages. If you're saving a map, say just right here inside the publish folder, you're going to get that. If you're saving it anywhere here, you're going to get the same error. Or if you're working out of the, for example, program file directory, which is Steam, Steam Apps, Commons, America's Army, AAPG, AAGame, CookedPC, Maps, MissionEditor, and then usually there'll be saves folder here. But you don't need to work out of it, because what's going to happen if you work out of here, as soon as you save your map, it's going to take this from here on over and save it into that document folder. So then what you're going to get is that ambiguous package, because you're going to have a file here and you're going to have a file in your document folder. So always work out of here. It's going to be a lot less problems you're going to run through and have. So just make sure you're working out of this area here. You should have no problems for that. Anyways, I'm going to open up this test map. If you guys remember, I used it for the world setup. We'll just use the same thing. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to import just the basic static mesh for you guys and some materials and apply them. Now, when you're doing work as far as soon as you load your map, personally, what I like doing is I like loading all the assets, so I have everything at my disposal, so I don't have to worry about, oh, do I have this, do I have that? So what I do is always, as soon as I load my map, I go to the browser, right up top here, AAGame, I right-click, and I fully load. Now, this for me will take a few minutes. I'm sorry, I don't know how long it'll take, but it'll take some time. It's not that long. But depending on your PC, how much RAM you're using, and it might be slower for others. I have a real fast computer, so there everything just loaded. So now everything I need is If I go to Static Mesh, I mean, everything's here. Everything that's in game is here. I can do it by, there's newer stuff. I can search for it, whatever I need. Now, when I'm importing stuff, when you import stuff into your map, what you want to do, regardless what anybody tells you, you do not want to import any meshes, any textures, whatever you're importing that's custom into external packages. There's a reason for that. The reason being is right now AAPG doesn't support custom external packages that work through Steam Workshop. You can still do it, but what's going to happen is if you put them in external packages, you're going to have to also distribute that file, that UPK file, with your map to whoever you're giving the map to. They have to put it in their folders. Otherwise, nothing will show up. I mean, all the custom stuff you put in that external package, if they're not along with the map, they'll all be empty out of the map. So you want to make sure you do that. So till that day, till they put an extension for that, so you can download from Steam, I would suggest always put everything in your map file, in your map folder. And so the best way to do that is usually for me, as soon as I load everything, if you look under your CookedPC map file, there's your map. It'll be highlighted, whatever it is, And if you're not sure where it is, all you got to do is just, type in the name of it. So if I type just test map, and you'll see it'll come right up, and it's highlighted. So when I click on this now, there's nothing inside my map because I don't have any static mesh, nothing imported. You're gonna see just your light maps that are cooked, that are baked. You're gonna see most of the, basically that's what you're gonna see. Probably your terrain setup, all your layers for your terrain. You should see nothing else in there. Okay, so with that being said, what you want to do is, like, let's say if you're off your map, you're into some kind of a UPK file that's out of of something else. You want to always make sure there's a couple ways of doing it. When you go to your browser, what I like doing is, so I don't make a mistake, I'll look for my map. But for example, if you are, let's say you just loaded your package, you're still on the AAGame, and you go to import, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and go to my other computer and get a document, 3ds Max, that's for AAPG. I'm going to grab this tree right here and import it. Now, you see what happens is, if I don't, you got to be very careful here. When you import it, you want to make sure you actually have the proper package selected. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can do it this way, and then right here in the drop-down menu, you could actually type, FLO. That'll take you through all the FLO maps, and you can scroll down. You can keep going by typing, test, and there's my map. So I can do this. And then now, if I was to click OK, it would automatically save it into that file. But so I don't make mistakes. What I always do is, when I'm ready to import, I do it a different way. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and go to my test map, find it, and then as soon as I find it, now I know I'm inside that folder. I don't have to worry about accidentally putting the file in an external package or something else. Now if I click import and I go back to the same place, where am I? Right here, document, 3ds Max. So now when I go ahead and select the tree and open, see, it automatically puts it in there. Now, this is the name of the mesh, and I can group it. It keeps it cleaner when you group things. If you're looking for static meshes within your map or materials and all that. So, but for this instance, I'll just leave it empty. So now, I'll just press OK, and that's just asking me to have an older version of FBX. Now you see, here's my tree. It automatically imported it into my file name. So if I double click it now, you'll see right up here it says Unreal Static Mesh Editor Flow Static. That means in my map, it's in Flow Test Map, and then the name of the tree is SM1. So here's the tree in my map. And now what I can do is just kind of minimize this, do by Static Mesh. And I can grab and drop it on. Now it's in my map. So now what's going to happen is, if I close this, just hit save. Okay. Make sure you save frequently, because if sometimes, you know, the Unreal Engine has weird things that happen and cause problems. And now if I go to play from here, that tree is in my map. So regardless what happens now, because I saved it inside my map, nothing will happen to this tree. It won't disappear regardless who I give the map to. As soon as I put it on Steam, this tree will show up in that map. Because it's inside my file and it's not in an external package. So, for example, now what I can do is, so, you know, if I have a custom stuff, what I like doing is to find it. It's easy for me. I just right-click on it and say find in the browser. So when I find in the browser, it'll automatically show it to me in my map. You know, it's in my map package. And so, you know, that's one way I can do. So now what I'll do is I'll just bring in a material for it, just to show you guys how that works. And so I have actually two materials here. I have the pine tree leaves and the normal map and the diffuser. So I'll grab them both. I'll bring them in. Now, always make sure that when you're bringing stuff in, you're using the proper LOD groups, and so it actually works properly. You know, for example, now my first one is my normal map. That's your bump map. So when you have a diffuser, you put the bump map, so it actually gives you that 3D look and stuff. So what I'll do is for the normal map, I'll pick the compression settings to normal map, and then I'll scroll down, and for the LOD group, I'll change that to world normal map. Now, if you're bringing in a character, you want to make sure you use these different specularities, just a regular material, diffuser, normal maps, you know. So then you got for vehicles, if you're bringing something using AI or for skybox. So always make sure you use these different LODs to give you the proper, you know, the look. So your textures are clean and you're not having any issues in that case. So in this case, I will choose the normal map for that, and I'll just say okay, and then we'll switch to the diffuser. Now we got to be careful here. Now I want to switch back. I just want to go to default because that's a diffuser map. That's the texture. And I want to also switch this back to the texture group world. But now what I'm going to do is every time I bring a diffuser, I automatically create material for it. So I don't have to worry about it. So as soon as I click OK, what's going to happen is now, if I scroll down here, under T's, you'll find. Now there's my leaf. I just brought it in. There's my normal map. And so, for example, now this is all within my map folder under FLO, as you see, FLO test, the path, test map. So I'll open up the material. I already have the texture that's applied to the diffuser. So I could just, you know, apply this to my static mesh. Now it worked. But what I want to do is I want to bring in also the bump map so you can see the difference here. What I'll do is minimize this, grab that, and then open this back up and just hit. I'll hold down T and the left click. That will create another texture sample, and then I'll just plug that into the normal channel. So now you see what happens is the actual, see how you see this difference with, without, you know, and then with. So then after I have that, now you can also bring in specularities, and you can turn on opacity mask, and that's just by doing it for here. I'll do another tutorial on that, a little more detail on materials. This is just to show you guys how to bring simple textures and materials in them, or static meshes, just apply them. So I'll just say okay, import it. Now I'll leave this minimized, go back into my content browser, open up my static mesh. Now as you notice, I have two different, under here, under LODs, I have two different channels for material. And once I click on one of them, for example, where the material slot is, as soon as I click it, you notice how it highlights right here. Now you'll see the difference. So it shows you which one. See, now the leaves highlighted. So it gives you the idea of which one you're highlighting to put material into. So now if I just grab my material and close that back up. Sorry. Open this back up, and now when I apply it to this, my leaves are on here. But you know, as you see, because I didn't apply the opacity, it's still not showing. So what you do is you just go back in into your material, I'll go down here and change this to mask. Open that up and then add my opacity to that, and then now it shows up. And just double-sided, so it shows you from both sides same way. Otherwise, if you don't have this checked, you're only going to look at the material from the face, and if you look from the other side of the face where the polys are, you won't see it. So you want to make sure you double-side that. Like I said, I'll get into this more detail later on. But now if you look at my tree, so now my tree has the actual leaves. Okay. And then I'm not going to do anything for the bark. What I can do is, since I have my whole editor, everything loaded, I'll just go back up to the top and make sure everything's fully loaded again. And I'll just check the material. Material is the constant. And I'll just look for a bark. And there's some trees, so I can just grab, these are default inside the map, nothing I imported, which is fine, you can still use them, not a problem. And then I'll just close this back up and find my material, or my static mesh. Now, I know that's imported, so I'll go to the other one and just import. So there, now it's got bark and leaves, and there it goes, right there. So I'll just do a quick build to get the lighting, everything built. And I'll run through it real quick just to show you guys. And now, once this happens, basically now, regardless what happens to this map, that static mesh, those two, the diffuser and the normal map I just brought in, they will always be there. Regardless if I rename the map, regardless what I do, they're embedded into that map. Unless I physically go in there and delete them, they will not go away. So when this map gets published and goes up on Workshop, basically whoever subscribes to it will also see all this information, whatever is in there, whatever external I put in, it'll show up in there, And so always make sure you have everything loaded. Make sure every time you're importing, you have your map loaded, or if you're not comfortable with that, you could when in the drop-down menu, like I saw you, just navigate to your map and make sure it's stored inside there. Otherwise, you're going to have issues. You're going to have problems where people won't see your you won't see your objects or won't see your textures. You'll get checked. Most of the time, when you see a map that you've put custom stuff into, and other people grab it, and all of a sudden they're getting checker. That's the default material in the engine. The checker material is the default, so it replaces sometimes a texture that's missing, or a material that's not applied to an object. It won't show it. So that's pretty much it. It's not that hard. It's just understanding where everything gets saved. The path. So now with that being built, everything built. If I go into lit mode, my trees actually has the shadows as you see it on the ground. I can even change, through the material, maybe brighten it up or whatever. But you have all those options. Like I said, that we'll keep for another day. I'll make a tutorial on setting up materials, shaders, and all that stuff. And there's my tree, So now I can go pretty much with the tree in my map, and if I played with it, and if I gave this map to anybody else, they would also load, and this tree would be in there. So hopefully that explained a little bit to you guys as far as importing stuff into your maps, materials. Always make sure you guys are working when you're importing stuff, that you are actually working out of your map directory and not external packages, because external packages will just give you nothing but problems. And because unless you exactly know what you're doing with them, there's nothing wrong with them. You can make them, but you got to make sure you give that file also to every person, and you wouldn't be able to do that now the way Steam Workshop. I know the devs have talked about maybe down the road setting something up that you're able to do it. But as you see now, my static mesh, my material, my texture, diffuser texture, and my normal map with the material made for this. I just imported, as you see, my arrow over it, path is flow test. And this will be always here unless I right click and force delete, and then that will be gone. But other than that, should be there. I hope that explained a little bit to you guys, and hopefully this will save you some headaches that you guys have been having. Talk to you guys soon.